chosen one. They stopped watching your face. I need you to understand what that means before we go 1 second further. Because the shift in what they are watching is not a small development. It is the most significant intelligence update you have received about the nature of the opposition in your life. The people who once spent their energy cataloging your failures, your appearance, your past mistakes, your public stumbles, they have quietly, without announcement, redirected their attention. They are not looking at your face anymore. They are looking at your accounts, your income streams, your resources, the financial infrastructure that has been quietly building around your life while they were still focused on the surface. And the reason they shifted is not accidental. It is because they have registered something that you may not have fully registered yourself. The anointing on your life has converted. It has moved from spiritual potential into economic power. And economic power is the only kind of power that people who oppose your destiny genuinely fear. Words do not stop them. Character does not intimidate them. But a chosen one with financial resources, with the capacity to fund the assignment, to build the infrastructure, to establish the legacy, that is the version of you that makes the opposition run a completely different strategy. They cannot defeat you with mockery anymore. So they are trying to locate your ceiling. They are scanning for the limit. They are watching the account because the account is where your operational capacity lives. And if they can find the ceiling, they believe they can find the control point. What they do not yet understand is that the ceiling they are looking for does not exist. And today, you receive the language, the framework, and the activation that makes your financial life permanently invisible to every radar they are running. Welcome to Chosen Wealth Wisdom. The Chosen One does not just build wealth. The Chosen One builds wealth that cannot be found, measured, or contained by the opposition. Before we go any further, here is what I need from you right now. If you have felt in the last few days a specific, unusual awareness that someone was asking about your finances with a precision that did not match their stated level of concern, if a question arrived that was dressed as curiosity but felt like reconnaissance type, the words, "My vault is sealed," in the comments right now. Drop it right now. Because the ones who typed that today are the ones who are ready for the specific financial protection that this word was released to deliver. And subscribe to Chosen Wealth Wisdom before this video ends. Because what I am building on this channel is not just a wealth curriculum. It is a complete strategic intelligence briefing for chosen ones who are operating in contested territory. You need every piece of it. Stay with me. 3 days ago, someone asked you a question they had no business asking. It may have been phrased casually. It may have arrived in the middle of a conversation about something else entirely, inserted so naturally that you almost answered before you caught what was actually being asked. A question about your income, about a purchase you made, about how a specific financial situation resolved, about what you are doing now and how it is going, with an emphasis on the going that was not really about your well-being. It was about your balance, about your capacity, about the specific number that would tell them how much power you currently have and how much further you have to grow before you become a threat they cannot manage. That was not a friendly question. That was a financial audit performed without your consent. And the reason it arrived is the same reason a sophisticated surveillance operation redirects its resources when its original target has developed in ways the original strategy did not anticipate. The opposition has had to update its threat assessment of you. You are no longer in the category of person they can afford to ignore. You are in the category of person they need to monitor. And the monitoring is happening through financial intelligence, because financial intelligence is the only intelligence that tells them what they actually need to know about the trajectory of a chosen one's destiny. The question they asked 3 days ago was the radar ping, and today you learn how to disappear from the screen. Now let me give you the Hebrew word that will give you the complete theological framework for understanding what is happening and how to respond to it. The word is tsar, spelled T-S-A-R. And the moment you understand the full depth of this word, the behavior of the opposition will make complete sense in a way that removes every trace of confusion and replaces it with clean, usable, strategic clarity. In Hebrew, tsar carries two simultaneous meanings that exist in the same word, and this is not a coincidence. It is a revelation. The first meaning of tsar is enemy, adversary, the one who opposes, who afflicts, who presses against the progress of the chosen one. In this sense, tsar is the word used throughout the Psalms to describe the specific, personal, targeted opposition that a person of destiny faces from those who are threatened by their advancement. But the second meaning of tsar is equally important and rarely discussed in this context. Tsar also means narrow, tight, constricted, the state of being pressed into a space too small for what you were designed to carry. The experience of operating in conditions that limit your full expression, financial conditions, relational conditions, creative conditions, any set of circumstances that compress you below the dimensions of your actual assignment. Now hold both meanings together and look at what they reveal. The enemy and the narrowness are the same word, which means the opposition's strategy is not destruction, it is compression. The tsar does not primarily try to eliminate you. It tries to narrow you, to keep your financial life compressed into a space small enough to monitor, to measure, to control, to ensure that the resources available to your assignment never reach the scale at which the assignment becomes unstoppable. This is why they are watching the account, not because they want to see you fail, because they want to ensure you stay narrow. Because a chosen one, operating in financial tsar, in financial narrowness, is a chosen one whose assignment is manageable. But a chosen one whose financial life breaks out of the narrow place, whose resources expand beyond the measurable, whose wealth becomes too deep and too diversified and too supernaturally supplied to be tracked by any human surveillance, that chosen one is operating beyond the reach of the tsar entirely. The opposition's power ends at the boundary of the narrow place. When you break out of it, you break out of their jurisdiction. Today is the day the tsar loses its jurisdiction over your financial life. Now let me show you what heaven observed in you that confirms you are already operating with the instincts of someone who understands financial invisibility. Because the teaching I am about to give does not produce the instinct it names, the instinct that is already present in the chosen one who has been moving correctly even without the language to describe what they were doing. The first thing heaven observed was your integrity with the hidden provision. There were moments, specific, real moments, when something significant arrived in your financial life. A bonus, an unexpected payment, a resource that appeared through a channel you had not been actively pursuing. And in that moment, the temptation that social media has made almost universal arrived at your door. The temptation to announce it, to post the evidence, to let the people who have been watching the struggle finally see the shift. Not out of pride necessarily, but out of the completely understandable human desire to let the testimony be visible to the same audience that witnessed the difficulty. And you did not do it, not because you were ashamed of the provision, because something in you, something quiet and instinctively wise, understood that the announcement of the arrival would immediately give the opposition the intelligence they needed to recalibrate their strategy against you. That the moment the resource became public, it became a target. That the silence around the provision was not humility as a performance, it was protection as a practice. You passed the ego test in the most financially consequential way possible. You chose the sealed vault over the public celebration, and heaven registered that choice as evidence of a stewardship instinct that is now ready for the level of resource that requires exactly that kind of discretion to survive. The second thing heaven observed was your stealth generosity. In the quiet, without announcement, without the social media post about the giving, without the audience that would have converted the generosity into social capital, you helped someone. You met a need that was real, with resources that were yours, in a way that left no public record and required no public acknowledgement. And the extraordinary thing about that act, the thing that made it spiritually and financially significant beyond its immediate human impact, is what it did to your visibility in the spiritual realm. The Tsar surveillance system runs on the frequency of pride and ego. It tracks the chosen one through the signal that performance-based living broadcasts constantly. When you gave in secret, you went briefly dark on their screen. You dropped below the frequency they use to locate and monitor the chosen ones they are assigned to compress. Stealth generosity is not just a moral virtue, it is a tactical move. Every act of anonymous, ego-free, unannounced giving recalibrates your spiritual signal in a direction that the opposition cannot follow. They can see the results of your financial life, the influence, the impact, the expanding reach, but they cannot find the source. And a chosen one whose source cannot be located is a chosen one whose supply cannot be disrupted. You have been moving correctly. Now you move with full understanding. Now let me give you 5 specific signs that the Tsar surveillance is currently active in your financial life. 5 recognizable, real-world patterns that indicate the opposition has shifted from general observation to targeted financial intelligence gathering. The first sign is the strange financial inquiry. People from your past, friends who drifted, family members who were not close, acquaintances from seasons you thought were fully closed, are reappearing with a specific quality of curiosity about your current situation. Not the genuine reconnection energy of someone who missed you. The calculated, information-gathering energy of someone who needs a data point. The conversation gravitates naturally toward what you are doing now, how it is going, what the numbers look like. They are running a financial reconnaissance operation, wearing the costume of a reunion. When this happens, your response is warm, brief, and informationally empty. You give them your presence and none of your intelligence. The second sign is the comparison bait. The Tsar surveillance does not only gather intelligence, it attempts to provoke disclosure. And the most reliable way to provoke a chosen one into revealing their financial position is to display something in front of them and wait for the competitive response. Someone in your circle makes a visible, announced purchase, mentions a number with deliberate casualness, performs a level of financial arrival in your presence that is clearly calibrated to produce a reaction. They are not showing off to you, they are fishing. They are waiting to see whether the display will provoke you to reveal your own position in the form of a competing display. Do not take the bait. The chosen one who is operating in financial invisibility has nothing to prove and no position to reveal. Let them display. Let your silence be the most powerful response in the room. The third sign is the precision question about your process. This one is more subtle than a direct financial inquiry and more dangerous because it arrives in the language of admiration rather than interrogation. Someone compliments your results, your growth, your expanding influence, your visible momentum, and then asks the question that is not really about admiration. How exactly are you doing it? What specifically is the method? What platform, what system, what partner, what channel is producing what you are producing? The question sounds like a student asking a teacher. It functions like an intelligence officer asking a source, because the specific details of how your supply is being generated are more valuable to the Tsar than the general knowledge that it is being generated. Process intelligence gives the opposition the specific pressure points, the dependencies, the vulnerabilities, the single points of failure in your financial system. When this question arrives, your answer is generous with principles and empty of specifics. You teach the concept freely. You protect the mechanism completely. The fourth sign is the shadow observer. You become aware of a specific quality of attention that is watching without engaging. Online, this looks like consistent viewership without interaction, accounts that see everything but respond to nothing, that are cataloging your activity without contributing to it. In person, it looks like the slightly too attentive presence of someone who is in the conversation, but primarily listening rather than participating. The shadow observer is gathering the pattern rather than the data point, building a comprehensive picture of your financial trajectory from the accumulation of small observations over time. When you identify the shadow observer, your response is to reduce the signal. Share less about the specifics of your work. Move more of your significant activity out of observable channels and into the private conversations and private decisions that leave no public record. The fifth sign is the arithmetic gaze. You make a small, ordinary purchase, something that does not objectively warrant attention, and you catch someone doing the calculation, not looking at the item, looking at the transaction, running the math of what that purchase implies about your current financial position. The arithmetic gaze is the Tsar surveillance, operating at the most granular level, trying to build a financial profile of you from the accumulation of observable spending data. Your response to the arithmetic gaze is to make your spending pattern as unpredictable and as unrepresentative of your actual financial position as possible. Let the observable data be noise. Keep the signal, the real numbers, the real trajectory, the real infrastructure completely off the observable record. Now, let me speak directly about the spiritual warfare behind all 5 of these surveillance signs, because there is a single unified strategy underneath all of them, and naming it and giving you the biblical model for defeating it is the most powerful thing I can do for your financial protection right now. The Tsar surveillance strategy is built on one foundational assumption: that if it can measure you, it can manage you. That if it can find the ceiling of your financial life, it can keep you pressed against it. That the chosen one who can be quantified can be controlled. And the weapon that defeats this strategy is what I call wealth camouflage. Not deception. Chosen ones do not lie about their finances. Wealth camouflage is the deliberate, intentional, spiritually grounded practice of keeping the full picture of your financial life invisible to every eye that does not have covenant access to it. The biblical model for this is Joseph in the palace of Pharaoh. Before his promotion was publicly announced, Joseph spent years building financial and administrative intelligence in Potiphar's house, then in the prison, then in the corridors of the palace, and in every season. The full scope of what he was building was invisible to the people who would have opposed it if they had seen it clearly. His brothers, who were the primary Tsar in his story, had no intelligence on his position until the moment he chose to reveal it. They came to Egypt looking for grain and found the second most powerful man in the known world. They had no data on the trajectory because Joseph had been building in a silence so complete that even his closest observers could not see the full picture. And the moment of revelation, the moment he said, "I am Joseph," your brother was entirely on his terms, at his timing, from a position of such complete and unassailable strength that the Tsar had zero operational capacity to respond. That is wealth camouflage at its highest level, building so completely, so quietly, so far beyond the measurement capacity of the opposition, that when the reveal comes, it comes from strength rather than from exposure. The chosen one does not get discovered by the Tsar. The chosen one reveals themselves to the Tsar when the building is complete and the position is unassailable. Proverbs says, "A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The naive simply proceed and pay the penalty." Wealth camouflage is the precaution of the prudent chosen one. It is not fear. It is not hiding. It is the strategic, wisdom-governed, Joseph-level decision to keep the full dimensions of the vault invisible to everyone whose access to it has not been authorized by covenant and confirmed by character. Say this out loud right now: "My wealth is hidden in God." The enemy looks but cannot see. They calculate but cannot arrive at the number. My supply channels are too deep, too diversified, and too supernaturally governed to be mapped by any human intelligence. I move in financial silence, I build in financial invisibility. The vault is sealed, the camouflage is active, and the Tsar has lost the jurisdiction it thought it had over the ceiling of my financial life. I operate beyond the narrow place. I operate in the wide open spaces where the Tsar cannot follow and the radar cannot reach. Say it again. With the settled authority of someone who knows exactly what they are declaring and exactly what it activates. Now receive the final activation. In the next 24 hours, heaven is going to send you a security signal. It may arrive as an unexpected prompting to update a password, to review the privacy settings on a financial account, to delete a post that revealed more than it should have, to close a channel of communication that has been carrying more information to the wrong people than you realized. When it arrives, do not dismiss it as a random technical prompt. Receive it as heaven's intelligence briefing the specific, targeted instruction of a God who sees the full surveillance picture and is actively directing your countermeasures. Act on it immediately. Every security prompt from heaven in this season is a direct, tactical instruction for the protection of the vault. Place your hand on your phone or your wallet right now, the physical interface through which your financial life is most accessible and most observable. And say these words: I seal every gate of my financial life against unauthorized access. I close every channel through which the Tsar surveillance has been gathering intelligence. I revoke every piece of information I have allowed into the observable record that gives the opposition a data point they can use against me. My vault is sealed. My supply channels are hidden. My trajectory is invisible to every eye that does not have covenant access to it. I move in the silence of the chosen steward. I build in the invisibility of the consecrated builder. Like Joseph in the palace, I build completely, quietly, and beyond the measurement capacity of every Tsar assigned to my story. And when the reveal comes, it comes from strength. It comes at my timing. It comes from a position so complete and so unassailable that the narrow place has no remaining authority over me. Amen. Receive this decree over your financial protection. I declare that the Tsar surveillance has been permanently blinded as of this declaration. The radar is running, but the signal is gone. The opposition is calculating, but the number will not resolve. The arithmetic gaze is finding nothing it can use. The comparison bait is producing no disclosure. The precision question about process is receiving principles without mechanisms. The shadow observer is watching a performance that reveals nothing of substance, because the chosen one standing before heaven right now has activated the camouflage, the deep, divinely governed, Joseph-level invisibility of a financial life that is hidden in God and governed in silence. I declare that the narrow place of the Tsar is broken over your financial life as of this moment. The compression the opposition has been attempting to maintain, the ceiling they have been trying to keep you pressed against, is permanently removed. Your financial life is expanding into the wide open spaces where the Tsar has no jurisdiction, no access, and no tools capable of measuring what is being built. I declare that the 5 surveillance signs have been identified, named, and neutralized. The strange financial inquiry produces no intelligence. The comparison bait produces no disclosure. The precision process question receives wisdom without vulnerability. The shadow observer is cataloging data that does not represent the actual scope of the vault, and the arithmetic gaze is calculating from observable spending that is noise, not signal. I declare that the stealth generosity you have been practicing in the quiet is simultaneously an act of worship, an act of kingdom investment, and an act of spiritual camouflage that keeps your supply channel invisible to every surveillance system the opposition operates. Every seed planted in secret is a lock on a door the Tsar was trying to open. Every anonymous act of giving is another layer of the invisibility that protects the vault while it fills. Like this video right now as your seal, your declaration that the vault is sealed, the camouflage is active, and the Tsar's jurisdiction over your financial ceiling is permanently revoked. Subscribe to Chosen Wealth Wisdom so that every piece of strategic financial intelligence released for this season finds you immediately. Because the chosen one operating in contested territory needs more than inspiration. They need intelligence. And this channel is the briefing room. Drop a comment right now and tell me, which of the 5 surveillance signs have you been experiencing most intensely? I am reading every one. I am praying over every name. The vault is sealed. The camouflage is active. The Tsar is blind. Well done, chosen one. Well done.